Is life just a comedy sitcom with a script full of plot holes? You've certainly noticed problems in some of your favorite movies and TV shows, like Cinderella's slipper not disappearing together with all the rest of her enchanted outfit after the clock hit midnight. But have you ever stopped to think about our reality's inconsistencies, aka the plot holes in our reality? Imagine it's a Friday night and you and your friends went out to grab a burger. Your BFF orders a cheeseburger with extra cheese and you order a hamburger with extra... Wait a minute. There's no ham in hamburgers. So why on earth did somebody decide to call it that? According to some sources, it has to do with this food's place of origin, rather than its content. Hamburgers might have been created in Hamburg, Germany, where a minced beef-style dish was first created. Still, it's confusing. Moving on, something else makes you question life itself. One day in class, your teacher is going on and on about prehistoric times, how hunters would go out in search of food and gatherers would pick berries and things. He talked about how limited human thinking was back then, and that's when it hit you. How on earth did we go from being cave people to being such a cognitively advanced species? Truth is, the evolution of consciousness is a mystery even to top-notch scientists. Our buddy Charles Darwin went a pretty long way to explain how humans developed as a species, but kind of forgot to explain the consciousness part. But what is it anyway? A recent theory says that consciousness is the brain's imperfect picture of its own activity. Here's the deal. We are conscious of both our internal and external worlds. We are aware of an image, much the same way we are aware of ourselves looking at an image, or our inner thoughts and emotions. But this is as far as we've come. So yes, big plot hole right here. You know how they say the wilder thoughts happen while you're taking a shower, or as soon as you lay down to sleep? Here's a strange one to fuel your imagination. It's highly likely that the mirrors in your house are secondhand, even if you bought it in a nice expensive store. And no one knows if this is fact or fiction. Say you're walking down the street one day and you notice pigeons are taking over the square next to your house again. They look old and grayish and... Wait a minute. Is there such a thing as a baby pigeon? They say seeing is believing, so it's probably okay if we choose to say we don't believe in baby pigeons, since we've never seen one scratching around. The truth is, baby pigeons stay in the nest until they are old enough to face the world. Still, it looks pretty inconsistent. Next time a total eclipse happens and you can see it from your part of the world, ask yourself, how can an eclipse even be total in the first place? That seems like a pretty big coincidence not a lot of people are talking about. This can only happen because the moon is 400 times smaller than the sun, and the sun is 400 times farther from the earth than the moon is. Who planned that so precisely, though? And speaking of matters of the universe, what bigger plot hole than that of the creation of the universe? Some say it was the Big Bang. Others have more spiritual explanations for it. Yet, no scientist has ever been able to scientifically prove, where do we all come from? Here's a crazy thought. When you wake up, you usually forget your dreams, but when you're dreaming, you forget reality. Crazy, huh? Dreams are also one of life's biggest mysteries. Scientists have only speculated on why we dream or have nightmares. Some say that we dream in order to practice our worst fears and anxieties in a safe place. It's the editing part that gets me. You know, when you start to consciously narrate the course of your dreams to get to live the experiences you wish. Who explains that? Think of the last time you went to the mall around the holidays. Maybe the mall was having a contest to see who would win that brand new four-wheeler. And it was a Mercedes. Neat, right? But how did that car materialize in the middle of the mall without destroying everything in its path? As much as this seems bizarre to any mall goer, there is logic behind this glitch in reality. Workers say the cars usually use the back entrances where doors are larger. It's still pretty bizarre though. And then there were magnets. You know, I think I changed my mind. This reality we're living in feels more like a sci-fi movie plot than that of a comedy sitcom. Magnets are the stuff of fiction, aren't they? And they make us wonder about the invisible force acting around us. Scientifically speaking, Earth is a magnet. Researchers don't really understand why, but the Earth's core creates a magnetic field around the north and south poles, which is more or less what makes our human-made magnets work. Speaking of sci-fi, I just can't wrap my head around the theory of relativity. Sure, it's scientifically proven, and if scientists think it makes sense, who am I to question? But still, the idea that an astronaut can spend 15 Earth years traveling, yet only age 7 years, for example, seems too unreal to be true. Time seems like a big plot hole all in itself. I mean, the concept of time moving slowly or moving too fast is kind of scary. We all know that, technically speaking, time is moving at a steady and constant pace. Yet we have all experienced that boring afternoon where time has moved slower than a snail. Or that chaotic week that passed so fast we say it happened in the blink of an eye. Oh, and here's an even wilder thought. If an entity were to stop time altogether, there would be no way for anyone to perceive this as happening. How insane is that? No wonder Christopher Nolan keeps making movies about this stuff. It's pretty good material for Hollywood. What about construction site cranes? Has anyone ever witnessed them being moved around? They must be done in the middle of the night because honestly, you wake up and a construction site is simply filled with cranes. And don't even get me started on deja vu. It's the weirdest feeling in the world. Walking into a place you've never been before and being overtaken by the feeling that, yes, you have been there before. And you even remember what that friend of yours said while passing the French fries. Apparently, as much as 97% of the population has already experienced this weird thing. Science tells us that deja vus are the result of miscommunication, an illusion created by our brains. You see, we have two temporal lobes. They help us remember words, people, and places we've been. At the same time, they are responsible for our perception of the present moment. But sometimes they get confused. And this is when a deja vu happens. It's like a tiny seizure that creates a malfunction between brain parts, mixing up past memories with the present moment. But who knows? Maybe it's just a glitch in the Matrix and Neo's just having fun with us. Now, the ultimate reality plot holes are nothing other than black holes. First of all, because they are holes themselves. And of course, because they suck everything in like a cosmic vacuum cleaner. So far, all we know about these things is that they were once a massive star that went supernova, aka the star collapsed onto itself, and the sheer magnitude of the explosion created a black hole in its place. We are not sure why, and what happens inside one of these things. All this talking is making me wonder, is reality really real? What's your take on all this?
That's it for today. So hey, if you pacified your curiosity, then give the video a like and share it with your friends. Or if you want more, just click on these videos and stay on the bright side.